Hi everybody, this is CP Algebra 1, Chapter 4, Worksheet 2, and worked out the odd answers. It says the cost function is 450 plus 3x, answer the questions below. So determine C at 50, so that means I'm going to take 50 and plug it in for the x. So that's 450 plus 150, so that gives me 600. Number 3, interpret the slope and the y-intercept in the context of this problem. So the slope is going to be 3. The y-intercept is going to be 450. And so the y-intercept is what you start at. And the 3, it's going to say it's going to cost you $3 more for every one more unit. So $3 more per one unit that you produce or buy or whatever. I guess is the candles. So $3 more for every one more candle. Number 5, an employee claims that 200 candles would be made in a total of 1,000. Does that claim work? Okay, so what we're going to do is we can take that 200 and plug it into our equation. So 3 times 200 is 600. 600 plus 450 is 1,050. So this employee is off by $50 because they're saying that it should only be 1,000, but when we plug it into our equation, we get 1,050. So again, you're plugging the 200 in for x on the original equation. Okay, we want to complete this input-output table. Remember, the input's the x, the output's the y. So I'm going to take -3, plug it in, so I get -2 times -3, that's 6. 6 minus 7 is -1. If I wanted to plug the 21 in, that goes in for the y. So I'm going to add 7. So it gets me to 28, and divide each side by -2, so I get 14 here. Plug 0 in, so I get -7 out, and if I plug 14 in, I get -28 minus 7, so that gives me -35. All right, the college student works part-time as a waitress for a catering company. Function f at t equals 18t plus 15 determines the amount of money she's paid for the event. So number 9 says interpret the slope of the y-intercept. The y-intercept would be 15. That's $15. So she gets paid $15 if she gets scheduled to work and doesn't even have to work. Like they say, go home, but we don't have enough work for you. The slope means she makes $18 for every hour worked. And number 11, let's see, we want to do f at 25, so we're going to plug 25 into our equation, so I'm going to get -3/5 times 25 plus 1. That's going to give me -15 plus 1, so we should get -14 for an answer here. Number 13, they're telling us, hey, that's what y is equal to, so I'm going to plug it into my f at x. Solve it, so subtract 1, so I get -6 over here, equals -3/5 x. Multiply both sides by -3/5, so I'm going to get positive 30 over 3 is 10. Calculate g at 9, so I'm going to use my g equation. So I have 2/3 times 9 plus 5, so that's 18 over 3, which is 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. Number 17. Determine the value when h is x is 9.1, so I'm going to use my h at x equation. So I have 9.1 is equal to -2x plus 0.9. Subtract 0.9 from both sides, so I get 8.2 over here equals -2x. Divide both sides by -2, so I get x equals -4.2.